Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to your April 2026 energy impressions. And I will also be touching on this week, your week of March 30th, because the first week, so much did come through about the specific week ahead, in addition to everything else about the energy of April. And before we get into the energy impressions for the month ahead, I did want to share that I have one space remaining for April for my 4-month journey of healing and transformation. It is called The Key because it's all about remembering that you hold the key for everything that you're wanting to unlock and open up. And with this last spot remaining to begin in April, is it for you? Have you been waiting for it? And if you are, please reach out. I love connecting with you to see if it's a good fit. And yes, this is a big month. So just like how these energy impressions and energy updates are all about helping you connect to the trust within you, to the language of your intuition, because with these energy updates, it's all about you trusting when it resonates and just as importantly, trusting when it doesn't. So the same thing can be said about this journey. If you're feeling that pull, do you feel like you need that focused support for 4 months to see what can truly change deeply within, but then also outside of you? Because we change and the world around us changes too. And it's not about changing who you are. It's about transforming back into who you have always been. And that's what this work can do. And let me share a testimonial because I do find that speaking the words of clients that have worked with me before tends to offer more insight rather than me just sharing over and over again. So, from a past client, after my healing journey with Mary, I feel so much strength and compassion for my soul and everything I've gone through that has led me to this point. Lately, I've been feeling stuck and stagnated, knowing the direction I'm meant to go towards is filled with so much love, joy, and healing, but also that it will take some courage to take the action. Now I feel a huge sense of relief and lightness, that I don't need to be afraid of the nerves of taking action towards what my soul is calling me to do. I also deal with chronic pain, and I feel that my healing sessions with Mary have helped me with that as well. After one of my life-changing sessions, I felt a peace I haven't felt since an accident I had 3 years ago. Today I feel so supported and like myself again. And I'm so grateful for this testimonial and all of the ones that, yes, I'm just very blessed to do this work and blessed to support you. So, yes, if you have been feeling the pull and this last spot is for you, like imagine we have April, May, June, July. By August, your life could be opened up in such a way that you can't even fully understand. And go to the link in the show notes. You'll see everything you need there to connect with me and apply for this last spot for the key. Okay, so as I said before, while you're listening, make sure that you are using these energy impressions as a way to strengthen the language and the trust of your own intuition. So trust when it feels like a message specifically for you, and trust when it doesn't. And for anyone new listening, welcome and welcome back to everyone who has been with me before. A little reminder about how I receive these energy impressions. What I do is I use my intuitive senses to go into a nice deep meditation with the intention to receive insight, guidance, messages, symbolism, anything that I can translate through my intuition with as much clarity as possible to offer us, both of us, it's for me too, anything we need to know that will help us navigate through the month with more clarity and focus and intention. So I'll share what came through in the meditation, what I experienced, and then I will share the animals that came through because there was one for the first week and then one for the overall month. And then I will share some soul questions, writing prompts. These are ways for you to dive even deeper into the energy for the month and find what you need to know. All right. So when I first opened up the meditation, I was brought straight to our crown. So straight to the very top of our heads. And this is our seventh energy center. This is the top of our energy channel. And the activity really felt electric, but also a bit overwhelming. And I heard opening. So in April, we may be moving through this new energy that is supporting us to really open up to something very electric and new that we might be receiving a lot through our crown. We might be invited in ways that we haven't before. And this also felt like without anchoring and grounding our energy, it could be overwhelming and even constricting, maybe even feeling stuck because maybe too much energy is trying to get through. So it gets kind of caught and stuck. Too many ideas, inspirations, thoughts, too much activity happening and staying around the crown instead of integrating and moving and being embodied and allowing these ideas and inspirations and thoughts to be expressed in the way they need to be. And if you don't have a practice to bring excess energy away from your upper energy centers, a way to embody them, then this month would be a time to do that because it feels like April begins and maybe offers a whirlwind, a flurry of activity around us, but you might feel like you're standing still if you don't pay attention to it. So, this month in April, pay attention to that activity that is happening in your head, your mental space, but also physically. If there's a buzzing, if there's a pressure, tension, make sure that what you are thinking are yours, that those are your thoughts, that what you are receiving is for you. Because this month could bring more connection felt between each other. That electric energy is a connector, it's a conduit. So maybe more of our empathic energy is opening up too. And that can be confusing. Is this my thought or someone else's? Is this my feeling or someone else's? And I did want to share a bit more about the crown, about that seventh energy center, because we do have this full moon that is beginning in April. It's starting April off. It's on the 1st. So it is the astrology of it. The reason I'm sharing it is because it's in Libra, which is an air sign. And air is a lot of mental energy. So very connected to the crown. So you may feel this specifically this first week of March 30th as we move into April. So, about the crown, just a bit of a refresher, or if you haven't really heard much about it, the energy we hold in our crown, this top seventh energy center, the space at the very top of our head and also slightly above our middle brow, is associated with the color violet on the light spectrum. It's that violet light. And this is where we connect to the power of our thoughts, our knowledge, our openness to new ideas, new ways of thinking, the wider view of the universe. And this is also where we can connect to the universal consciousness, the field, to that universal wisdom. We can receive inspiration and clear thinking about the world and our place in it, a deeper connection to our soul and our purpose. And when our crown energy is supported and in harmony and in balance with the rest of our energy, it's very it's very much an easier process to release and rewire limiting beliefs or negative stories about ourselves that can really impact our physical life. It's when we feel safe in how we express our purpose. We have more faith in the world and trust in humanity and the universe. We don't isolate ourselves from others and we don't judge other people for their beliefs. We can calm our overthinking mind and we can find it a lot easier to accept and connect with those around us, even if they're different than we are, because we see that interconnection. We understand it, that omnia unus est, everything is one. That's what our crown in balance and connected to the rest of our energy offers us. And then when it isn't, then it's difficult to do all of those things. So, if this is resonating with you, if it feels like, oh, maybe I do need to pay more attention to the energy of my crown, bring attention to the very top of your head and visualize your energy there. Imagine it as a ring of energy, a spiral of energy moving around. And then picture and feel that energy spiral moving down the center of your body, expanding within and out. And you're breathing in and you're breathing out until that energy spiral reaches your legs and then your feet. And then using your intention, really allow any excess energy, any energy that wasn't yours, to easily melt down and into the earth. And then you can start to rub your palms together, create some heat, feel the energy building, and hold your hands above your head for a few seconds. And really feel the energetic connection from your hands to your head. And then place your hands on your head and just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths and feel that harmony and connection and more centered space that you just offered yourself. See how you feel. How does your physical head, how does your body feel? What about your thoughts? So that's a great, easy, very quick exercise to help to balance and ground the energy of our crown. Don't worry about expanding. That expansion is already there. As you bring that energy down, you're allowing more anchored and grounded expansion to occur. So, a big part of this first week, but also the whole month, is really checking in when you have that excess energy, when a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of energy, when a lot of electricity is building around your head. Use your intention to help anchor and ground and embody that incredible energy that you carry so that you can express it. And then the next thing that came through was the image of a frog and then turning into a prince, just with our focus. I know the trope is to kiss a frog, but it was just our attention. And this felt like a symbol about something in our lives for this month, but also for the week. It did feel like the frog was part of the animal for the week, which I'll get into in a second, but that there's something in our lives this month and maybe specifically this week that we haven't given the credit or attention to that we need to. Something that has the potential to become what we've been desiring if we just give our attention to it. So, what is already in your life that you haven't given the credit or attention to? What have you been looking outside of yourself for that is already next to you, that is already on your path? This feels like a reminder about our magic, the inherent, powerful magic we all carry of our intention, that you have the power to create and make and transform, that the recipe is already in your hands, that everything you need, all of the ingredients are waiting. But maybe you have to clear some space, some mental space, so that you can actually start cooking. Now, that doesn't mean to go cook a frog. That's the symbol. But let's get into the animal of the week. So it does feel like for the week of March 30th that the frog is a part of it because it was on our path so quickly. And because I've already finished the meditation, I know what the bigger animal is, the bigger animal energy is for the whole month. So the frog feels like it was for the first week. And the frog really represents a lot of this energy that we've already been speaking to. So when I share more about the themes of the energy that the frog represents, pay attention to where in your life this might be hitting and spotlighting for the first week of April. So the frog represents the energy of cleansing, releasing, transformation, metamorphosis, creative inspiration, life cycles, healing, empathic energy, new growth, the power of your emotion, soul potential, self love, and heart healing. And this also feels very supported for this first week because of the full moon. The full moon that is on April 1st opens up the month. Talk about opening up. And like I said before, the full moon is in the sign of Libra, and that is an air sign. And I know it well. It's my rising sign. I have a stellium in Libra. And for the full moon, because a full moon helps to illuminate what we need to release so that we can call in everything that we are wanting to create, it feels like for this first week, the energy of the frog is also highlighting that we need to maybe transform and cleanse our themes that Libra spotlights, which are people pleasing, indecision, procrastination, self judgment, vanity, codependence. So much air energy that gets in the way of grounding and embodying our authenticity. And there's a question for this first week that feels like it's important. So, for this week of March 30th, as we move into April, what do you know now that you didn't know then? This is really a helpful question to lean into the supportive energy of this moon and this week. So, what do you know now that you didn't know then? And this all feels very connected to the whole month energy, this month of opening up, this month of opening. And if someone said, let me open that up for you, or I can open that for you, where does your mind go? Where in your life do you wish would open up with ease? Where you would, oh my gosh, love somebody to come in and say, oh, let me do that for you. Because this month feels like it's possible, deeply possible, for you to reclaim your power to do that for yourself, to know what you need to do. And maybe that's why it's important to connect to what you know now that you didn't know then. because that will help you see what needs to open, what is waiting to. And then the next thing that came through for April, for these energy impressions in this meditation, the next thing that came through was deep emotion, deep feelings. We were crying. We were crying. But there was such a mix of emotion in the tears. So don't worry about something making you cry this month. It feels like another aspect of opening up. Even as I'm saying this, it feels like, oh, April showers. Like maybe our tears this month are about feeding what is meant to grow, that it's not even from sadness. Maybe they're actually from happiness, from relief, from beauty, from witnessing something amazing that creates such a surge of emotion in our hearts that we can't help but release it through tears. But if it is grief or sadness that needs to be opened up and felt, that's important too. And as I was feeling into our hearts for this month, as that opened up, that deep emotion, the tears, I was connected back to our lungs and how our lungs are connected energetically to grief. And so for some of us, it does feel like we may be called to do some gentle breath work, to notice even the days where you haven't really fully been breathing, to check in. Maybe you've been holding your breath. Maybe your shoulders are really high and tight. April really feels like it's supporting us to breathe, to open up our lungs, to allow our breath to support us, to remember that you are alive and that you have the immense power to hold and share that life force, and that your breath can help you find that. And I'll put in the show notes, I have a very quick, it's only 4 minutes, but it's a 4 minute guided meditation to find your breath. So if that resonates with you, listen to that meditation, find your breath. And maybe for some of us, that's the opening up our heart to feel. And that does make sense because of what's coming next in the meditation, not to get ahead of myself, but that opening, that feeling, the words opening that came through at the beginning, that it's about our hearts feeling, opening to connect, to give, to receive, to remember what being a human on this planet is all about. The connection, because you can't connect to something that is closed. So maybe where are you feeling closed off? Where are you consciously closing yourself off? And why? This month maybe could be a very fertile ground for you to be more open and vulnerable, but powerful, not fragile. Strength in your softness. And because we have so much energy around the crown that came through at the beginning, it does feel like a bit of guidance for April is to focus on one thing. What is the one idea, the one inspiration, the one thought that will not leave you, that one thing that needs your attention, that one thing that can open up your life more, that is actually the opening? What is it? How can you commit to it? And then the next thing that came through was the animal for the month. So the big animal for the month, or I'll say insect, but I look at everything as an animal. And it's a bit of a surprise because it is an insect. And that's why I felt like the frog was for the first week, because this was big. This one felt like for all of April, mostly because it's when I saw our hearts opening more. So in the meditation, we're sitting on the ground. The next thing that came through after the tears and really feeling our emotions, and the light of our hearts beamed. It was beaming onto the path in front of us. And it was beaming on and lighting up a sparkling spider web, a big one, like massive. And it felt like our heart was taking part in the weaving, that it was helping to weave this giant web. And it was gold and sparkling. And there was a beautiful, also massive spider that was weaving it too, which is the animal. And I know that arachnophobia is such a common fear, but I do want to say that if you have a fear of spiders, pay attention to the themes and symbolism of the energy that I'm sharing and see if the fear that you're feeling is maybe connected to fear of your own power, your own creative power, your own connection, your own wisdom, inherited wisdom, as you'll hear, because the spider represents incredible energy, primordial energy, and it can really help us connect to what is opening up for us this month, what we have the power to open, and what we have the power to weave into our lives. Because the weaving, especially a spider silk, is the most powerful, more powerful than steel. So this month, whatever we're opening up to and weaving within our lives, the longevity is there. It is being created to stay. And before I share about the specific themes of what the spider represents, I also wanted to say that we had the spider before, and it was last August, the week of August 4th, 2025, when we also had another full moon, and it was also in an air sign. It was in Aquarius. And when I checked in on that episode, we were also talking about the crown. That also came through. So a lot of synchronicity with 8 months ago to now. So connect to August 4th, 2025. How is the spider coming back to you? What has it weaved? What is the weaving, the connection? What is it opening up for you now from then? Is it a second chance to what you were focusing on then? Is it a new perspective? What did you not know in August 2025 that you know now? And listen to the themes and symbolism that I'm going to share, and maybe that will help you as well. So the spider represents the energy of creativity, weaving of fate, linking past and future, maternal lineage, the grandmother, ancestral healing, magic of the written word, interconnection of all things, manifestation, balance, life cycles, the spiral sacred symbol, ancient wisdom, patience, and protection. So, with those themes, how can that inspire what is opening up for you this month? And then also from Ted Andrews' Animal Speak, this excerpt felt really highlighted. So, from Ted Andrews' Animal Speak about the spider energy, the spider awakens creative sensibilities. It weaves a web of intricate and subtle fabric as if to remind us that the past always subtly influences the present and the future. Often the webs will take a spiral shape, the traditional form of creativity and development. The spider found within the web reminds us that we are the center of our own world. The ancient mystery schools had one precept inscribed above their portals: know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe. Spider reminds us that the world is woven around us. We are the keepers and the writers of our own destiny, weaving it like a web by our thoughts, feelings, and actions. The spider, because of its characteristics, has come to be associated by mystics and in mythology with three predominant expressions of magic. The first is the magic and the energy of creation. It is a symbol of creative power, reflected in its ability to spin a silken web. It is also associated with assertiveness of that creative force, of keeping the feminine energies of creation alive and strong. The third predominant magic of the spider is associated with its spiral energy, the links with the past and the future. The spiral of the web converging at a central point is something to be meditated on. Are you moving toward a central goal, or are you scattered and going in multiple directions? Is everything staying focused? Are you becoming too involved or self absorbed? Are you focusing on others' accomplishments and not on your own? Are you developing resentment because of it for yourself or for them? Because it is constantly building and weaving new webs, spider also has been a lunar symbol with ties to the waxing and waning of the moon. This pattern is a reminder to maintain balance in all aspects of life. If spider has come into your life, ask yourself some questions. Are you not weaving your dreams and imaginings into reality? Are you not using your creative opportunities? Are you feeling closed in or stuck in a web? Do you need to pay attention to your balance and where you are walking in your life? Are others out of balance around you? Do you need to write? Are you inspired to write or draw and you're not following through? Remember that Spider is the keeper of knowledge of the primordial alphabet. Spider can teach how to use the written language with power and creativity so that your words weave a web around those who would read them. As delicate as they are, spiders are also very agile. They can maintain balance and walk the tiny silken threads with ease. To walk the threads of life and maintain balance has been one of the mysteries throughout the ages. Myth and lore often speak of individuals who have learned to walk the threads between life and death, waking and sleeping, between the physical and the spiritual. This is part of what spider medicine can teach, for spiders are the experts at walking threads. Most people have little or no contact with the bigger spiders, but they will often see a wide variety around the house and home. Many of these serve vital functions, killing more harmful insects. Most of their movement occurs in the dark, and they move into inaccessible areas. This reflects much about how to express the creative energies. Don't be afraid to employ it in seemingly inaccessible corners. Weave your creative threads in the dark, and then when the sun hits them, they will glisten with intricate beauty. So, as usual, I love how the imagery, the themes of the animal completely parallel everything that also came through in the meditation. So, how do you feel inspired now by the spider, by the themes, by the very powerful energy, but also overall? How are you feeling about this week and this month? What are you ready to release for this full moon to open up a new cycle? What is opening? What is opening in April? And let me share some writing prompts. Here are some soul questions. You can use them as journal prompts to physically write. I do recommend that because there is so much research about how our brain functions when we are physically writing with a pen and paper as opposed to typing. It is a big difference. So, some questions to help you dive even deeper into the energy of this week and fully the month ahead. Number one, where in your life do you wish would open up with ease? If someone said, I'll open that for you, where does your mind go? And think abstractly too. Don't think too literally. And number two, are you moving toward a central goal or are you scattered and going in multiple directions? What do you need to do? And number three, what are you meant to do that your maternal family or lineage could not? What chain is finally going to break with your action? Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe that's what the spider is really inspiring. And number four, what intentions can you set and commit to tending for the next month? And number four, hopefully you can do this week. So around the 1st of April, what intentions can you set today and commit to tending for the next month or 6 months? begin your intentions with, I am so grateful for finally releasing, and then write in what you want to release. And this can be a fear, a judgment, a self limiting belief, idea, thought, something that you don't feel connected to anymore, that you need to release to make space for all you want to create and experience. What is in the way of your innate power? That's what you want to set your intentions for. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Intuitive Seek. Thank you so much for listening, always. And I would love, as usual, to hear if you resonated with any of the energy that I'm feeling that we're moving through for the month ahead and for this week. So please don't hesitate to send me a message. Just go to the show notes. Everything I shared are in the show notes, all the links you need. And yes, please reach out. Hugely appreciated if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a bit more support, then you could share this episode with a friend. And you can also leave a review. That is deeply helpful. So check out all of the links in the show notes for everything you need. And thank you. Thank you again. Be extra kind to yourself and others. And I will talk to you next week.